Facebook kicked in yet. My Facebook folks, are you there? Nope, my Facebook's not there yet. Um, we had a cancellation in our guest tonight. Yeah, there we go. Welcome to all the people that are on Facebook now. You tuned in to Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics radio show. We're on every Sunday, 6 to 8 on InTheMixRadio.com, giving you real talk for the community since 2014. Black Westchester I'm in the studio by myself right now. Dr. Bob's on his way. Shout to Lorraine Lopez. Her sister's not doing well, and her and her family are at the hospital with her sister, Betsy. Our prayers go out to Betsy and the entire Lopez family. I hope all is well with her. But yes, that's why she is not here, and she wanted everybody to know she did not disappear. She is just not here for the day. She'll be back next week. This is episode 198, coming 2 more weeks to the 200th episode. If Lorraine, I think Lorraine's on. D. Wilson said prayers with Lorraine and her family. Shout out to Jonah May. We got Walia Westchester Hispanic Law Enforcement Association in the house. We got the homeboy Floyd Myers tuned in. D. Wilson, what's going on? John Rivera, Alita Johnson, what's up, cousin? Cicely Greaves, Donna Nolan, always tuned in. The Future Society, Summer Jones. Shout out to Donna Nolan when it's just gotta shout people out when they support, when all that was going down with the so it's been a busy week or so. So all that was going down with Cupcake Cutie and the attempt to close down. Donna Nolan was one of the first people when she saw it on Facebook. She was like, "What's going on? I'm on my way." And she came out and supported, and her husband, they brought a dozen cupcakes, and they stayed out there for a while, showing their support. Just want to give a shout out to them. Floyd said, "What's up, family? What's up?" Patrice Wallace Moore, shout to her. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. And I think Donna, you and your son, I think, are scheduled to come on next week to talk about the tournament. So she will be in the house. Her and one of her sons will be in the house next week. And then the week after is the 200th episode. Yes, I said it, the 200th episode. We have a bunch of special guests coming in. One that I can confirm so far, we will have County Executive George Latimer in the house. He will be here live for about a half an hour. Come hang out with us. We got some more surprises coming through. We're going to have all of the former and current co-hosts. I think Cynthia Turnquest Jones is coming through. Brenda Crump might come through. We have both Tasha Young and Tasha Diaz are coming through. Rashad Bilal might be coming through. Atif K. Coleman, Atif Khalil is supposed to come through. Of course, Lorraine Lopez will be here. Dr. Bob will be here. And I think we'll actually have Damon K. Jones in the place to be. Not on the phone, but here, live and in person. Shout out to Shelly Lewis, Dawn Seawright. So it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a celebration. We're coming on an hour early. It's going to be 5 to 8. Anybody interested in sponsoring the 200th episode, holla at your boy. Hit us up this week, blackwestchester@gmail.com. And also, if you're interested, Jared Apuzzo, hey, how you doing, sir? And also, if you're interested in advertising in the February issue, the Black History edition of Black Westchester, February issue, I think what I'm going to do, I had to think about it for a minute. So December and January, we just released the digital issue. We didn't release the paper. Doing some restructuring. Took some, I needed some time to take a break a little bit. So we just did the digital version. So in December, I had done the small business edition, but it wasn't in the paper. So I'm going to use those businesses. So we highlight a lot of black businesses. We're going to put that in the February issue. So everybody can support these black businesses during starting Black History Month, and then going forward, we need to support Black businesses, support our local businesses, not just on Christmas time, Kwanzaa time, not just Black History, but all year round. Businesses that open up in the community, we have to support our own. So I'm going to rerun what was in the digital issue in December for the Black History Month edition for February, so everybody will have a copy and be able to walk around and take the page with them and have a copy of the printout, a copy of the businesses. So shout out to Charles Stern, shout out to Roger Dean. Alita Johnson said, "Happy New Year's, family. You're looking well. Thank you. Oh yeah, and I just I finished this week. I know everybody's been asking me, so it was good. I did the my church, Greater Centennial, AME Zion Church in Mount Vernon. We had this is the first year they did it. The New Year, New You fast and revival. So from Monday through Friday, we fasted. You could either do it one of three ways: either from 6 a.m. to 12. Noon, you nothing but water and then fruits and vegetables and stuff afterwards, or 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Every day, nothing but water or fruits and vegetables afterwards, or for the thoroughbreds, for the heavyweights, from Monday morning 6 a.m. to Friday evening 7 p.m. nothing but water the entire time. Now I'm gonna be honest, so I did it. I survived the whole thing, but I didn't do the nothing but water the whole time thing. Started off the first few days, I did it gradual. The first few days I did the 12, I did the 6 a.m. to 12 noon, fruits and vegetables afterwards. Then I did the 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Friday I did the whole thing, like the whole time, from Thursday night to Friday. And we had revival Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We had Reverend Morrison from the church I went to in Georgia, Shore Temple AME Zion Church. He was up here, and he preached up a storm, and it was definitely blessed. So I'm on this journey for the healthy mind, body, and spirit. Feeling when to get all three in alignment. Back on my low sodium diet for all those asking. How I've been doing with that, doing the walking, the brisk walking in the morning, doing a little exercise and stuff. And get my spiritual health together too. So I did go through the through the whole fast. We just came off of that. So Friday night I had some food, some good food, and I drank nothing but water all week. So I had to get my Pepsi on Friday night just because I wanted that. Just I was remixing Christmas songs in my head. I'm dreaming of an ice cold Pepsi all week long. So word up. Taking a break off. It's cold. Asking for yeah. So didn't hear Lorraine. Yes, we talked about that. I explained to everybody. And everybody's calling for prayers for you. We call for prayers for your sister and for the whole family. And if you look at some of the comments, if you scroll up, some of the people, D. Wilson and others, said they're praying for you. We definitely said that. We definitely miss you today, and we wish your sister well, and glad that the family is with her. A couple of other people on the check-in. I said Jared Apuzzo, Roger Dean, Charles Stern, hey AJ, DJ Red from Atlanta. Oh, what's going on, sir? Wayne Brucard, I think I pronounced it wrong. Caitlin Gleason, what's going on? Damon K. Jones, Black by Popular Demands on the check-in. Nadine McKenzie, that's Shamoya's mom. She's on the check-in. Caitlin said, congratulations on the 200th episode. Thank you. Lorraine said, you and your Pepsi. Yes. I've cut down. So now that the fast is over, I will be continuing doing drinking a lot more water going forward. I'm gonna in addition to the fruits and vegetables, I'm gonna be I'm gonna have my fish, my chicken, my turkey, my shrimp and salmon and stuff. But I'm gonna limit my beef and pork intake in 2019. So I'm not saying that I've given them up altogether, and I'm telling you, pork bacon is my weakness. The smell of that, just somebody cooking that in the house, I'll be like, oh. So I just won't be having as much of it. I'm gonna be cutting it out, and I'm going to be limiting my intake of pork and beef going forward this year. So, Brenda L. Crump, AJ Woodson, great job on your fast and healthy lifestyle change. Shout out to Brenda. Everybody needs accountability partners. Brenda, I think her family's vegetarian. They don't eat any meat at all. Brenda checks on me periodically to see what I have eaten. She sends me pictures of healthy things that she's eating, and I take pictures of the food that I'm eating, and I send it to her. And if she hasn't seen a picture in a couple of days, she's like, hey, AJ, what you eating? And I was in the car with Bob the other day. She said, don't let Dr. Bob get you off your off your healthy plan. So, I appreciate her. She'll go to like one of the fresh market things they have. Like I had one at the Dole Center, and she'll pick up some extra bag of fruits and vegetables for me to make sure that I have what I need, and I'm eating healthy. So I wanted to give her a shout out. Shout out to Chris Breezy. So without further ado, I was holding it down by myself, but kaboom! Just guess who stepped up in the room? To Cal is Dr. Bob.
It's that killer B, y'all.
Robert Baskerville, PhD. One of the original hounds of the Baskervilles. A thoroughbred in the streets. Word up. What's going on? Yes. Oh, and my bad, but your mic is on now.
Okay.
It's not on before.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we just saying that we had a couple of things going on in the last week or so.
Mm-hmm.
So, we talked about Cupcake Cutie last week, and they're still going. I think they went back to court again, and because they had got an extension to the 10th, and then after the 10th, they went back to court again, and they got an extension to, I believe, the beginning of February, and the city came and did an inspection and got them for some, not violations, but some stuff that really is not outside of their control, like something on the outside of the building. That is something that's on their part of the building, but that's something that is the building owner's responsibility, not theirs. And it was a couple of other small things that mostly were the building owner's responsibility, but they were there to find something, and they did. It took a long time, but they did. And so the judge issued another temporary one to the beginning of February, and again they have to inspect, I think, on the 17th, and if the city does not issue a permanent one by January 31st, they got to go back to the court and go back to the court. Hold on for the calls. Got to go back to court. Stuff on the outside of the building, like a pipe or something that's coming down the side of the building. I have a picture of it. I have to show it to you, Bob. Mm-hmm. And it's just like it's not their responsibility. But anyway, so that's the update on that. Then after that, the building commissioner, Dan Jones, was arrested for driving, DWI, driving while intoxicated, and with a aggravated operation of aggravated unlicensed. His license is suspended. So I forgot what the term is.
Charge.
Yeah, his license was suspended, and he hit a parked car, hit a tree, went up on the curb and almost took out one of the nurses of the Glen something rehabilitation center in New Rochelle. New Rochelle. He was arrested by New Rochelle Police Department. The judge, I think, suspended his license, and then News 12 showed that this was one of 7 suspensions over the last year or so, 2017, including suspensions, including
driving while intoxicated.
And Nassau County, Brooklyn, Suffolk County, Essex, New Jersey, a failure to pay some fines, failure to pay child support, and a few other a litany. Pugsy P. I'm taking a Pugsy P word. A litany of other things. Pugsy P. Yo, everybody keeps calling me about this Pugsy P video. He drops these videos. And they're like, yo, this Pugsy P dude is crazy. Whoever's that Pugsy P is crazy. But his word for his last video was a litany of suspensions. Yeah, so News 12 broke that story. And then, so after that happened, then Mayor Thomas, the big story of the week was Mayor Thomas, made a guy with I guess he's like a local internet sensation, or for lack of a better term. I think he's a rapper or something, a comedian, something. I don't know. They called by the name of Fat Boy SSE. I don't know what that stands for. So Richard, the Mayor Thomas, made him mayor for the day. And in making him mayor for the day, took him around several places, including an unauthorized impromptu visit to Mount Vernon High School. There's been a lot of speculation exactly what happened. Some say that he threw money up in the air. We have not ever substantiated that, but that's been a claim from several faculty members and students. But anyway, his appearance altogether caused chaos and commotion. Fights broke out. The police had to come. The school was put down on emergency, like state of emergency, whatever the equivalent of what the school does. I forgot what it's called, but for lack of it, sort of a state of emergency type of thing.
Lockdown.
Yeah, lockdown, the whole nine. The superintendent gave Black Westchester a statement basically expressing his great disappointment in the mayor for showing up unauthorized without even a courtesy call to him or the principal, and said that his appearance, just his mere visit, caused commotion and among the students, and also caused the midterms to have to be rescheduled, because this was during midterm time of the year. So midterms, I don't know when the midterms are rescheduled for. We just posted another story today. LoHUD broke that. Mayor Thomas, the superintendent, is barring. He put a certain amount of security protocols in place, and they're still investigating how they can eliminate stuff like this from happening before and what actually happened. But the protocols in place include barring Mayor Thomas from any unauthorized visits to any schools in Mount Vernon, unless he is making a visit as a parent. To, other than that, he is barred from making any unauthorized, not just unauthorized, without the superintendent's authorization. He specifically said, without my authorization. We broke that story today. It's on blackwestchester.com. We got comments from Wanda White, who is the Board of Ed. She is the Board of Ed president, and we also got comment on that. Brenda Crump, who is an advocate for children and a former school board trustee, she showed her support for the superintendent's decision. So all of that was like this week. In Westchester and in Mount Vernon. That's what's up. Back by popular demand, the man with the plan and the megaphone in his hand, Damon K. Jones. What's up? What's going
DK,
on?
what up, man?
Ah, man, it's crazy, man. It's how does a mayor get banned from a high school city, man? I mean, look,
Jesus.
I really think he's having the Trump effect at this point. I really don't think he wants to be mayor anymore because he's making very bad decisions and that are affecting people's lives throughout the city. It's almost like he's sabotaging his career. I'm going to make a prediction that he's going to try to push off his trial as long as he can, because the election to be reelected is this November in office. I think he'd rather go out losing an election than having the AG's office force him out to jail. I mean, force him to resign. They have to force him in jail too. But I think he's just because some of the decisions that he's making, or someone's making, but at the end of the day, the buck stops with him because he is the mayor of the city.
CEO of Mount Vernon, as he puts it.
Well, yeah, he's going to be CEO, all right. But I think, it's almost like if I can't have it, I'm going to destroy everything. That was very dangerous, man. I mean, I heard the reports too that money was stolen. That's dangerous to do it with all these with as many kids as you have at Mount Vernon High School. And if one of the kids got hurt, who's responsible? They're going to sue him. They're going to sue Fat Boy. They're going to sue the city. I mean, I respect the decision and the rapid response from Mr. Hamilton to let the people know, and he had to do it because he had to protect himself and protect the district. Only if those in the police department would do the same thing, protect themselves from what's going on, because you have officers that have been ordered to do things that are contradictory to the code of conduct and what a police officer is all about. And the PBA is saying nothing, completely nothing. And then unfortunately, when the hammer comes down, some people might get in trouble. So I mean, you have city departments, being run at this point roughshod, from a civilian, allegedly, and nobody's saying anything. I mean, we can't just wait till this man allegedly will go to jail. What if he don't go to jail? Then what do you do now? It's not going to be a city left. It's not going to be. He's destroying the city slowly, like a kid. If I can't have it, nobody's going to have it.
I wanted to say, so D. Wilson, while you was talking, she posted that she actually saw the videos and that the artist did make it rain up in there, and everything else was a damn mess after that. Shout out to Charles Turner, telling everybody if they're watching this, share it to their Facebook timeline. This is a great show. More people should watch it live. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Charles.
Appreciate
Charles.
that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? So, a couple of things. Yo, the what bothered me was that they were allowed, and the school's not without fault. I mean, let's be honest. They were just allowed to walk in the building unobstructed. No one stopped them. Walk through the building to the cafeteria and another scene that looked like the gym, and walking through the hallway and holding up, even if he did not throw money. But I do got pictures of him holding fistfuls of money in the crowd. I do have videos sent by students, and I didn't air them or show the videos on Black Westchester because students' faces within it, and I ain't want to, have that whole. I wouldn't want somebody posting pictures with my child's video, and face and image and stuff in it. So, if she was that age, so I didn't do that. But I saw the videos, and what if, like they just came in? What if Fat Boy and his entourage was strapped? Like you know what I'm saying? Like no one, they walked in you know what I'm saying? Like anything could have happened. You know what I'm saying? LoHUD said security had to escort them out. I got calls from AO Joints and other people that support the mayor. They said that everything was peaceful, that it was a peaceful visit, this, that, and the other. Today on LoHUD wrote, and I think the superintendent said it in the LoHUD article, that they commotion erupted and they had to be escorted out. So obviously it wasn't just after they left.
The white wait, hold on. See, when are these distractors going to question LoHUD? When are they going to call the editor in chief of LoHUD?
They can't.
Right? Yes, they can. The numbers is on the website. You could call. You might not get them, but you could call. See, when the white media say something is correct, right? They don't question the white man. See, that's the slave mentality of some of these Negroes around here that criticize Black Westchester, right? But they don't criticize LoHUD. And I'm here to say there's some stories we don't even print that we give it to LoHUD and they run.
That's actually
like the drunken commissioner. I knew 5 a.m. 5 a.m. A couple of hours after he got arrested, I knew.
Yeah, because he got arrested like 6:45 that night. I got a call in the middle. First thing I got was in the middle of the night.
I got a middle of the night, then it got confirmed in the morning.
Right.
And we gave it to the white press. Ain't nobody, Joe Spezio ain't going after them.
And they mentioned him too, because they said the court date, LoHUD was gangster. LoHUD followed him. They said building commissioner, walked out the court, walked down Fifth Avenue, where he was picked up in the SUV by Joe Spezio.
But you know what
says that word for
right? It says that, but you know what that proves? He's Joe Spezio's bitch. So everything that he's been doing to Cupcake Cutie can be connected to Fat Joe Spezio.
I stopped at the barbershop last night, Damon. I was out with Bob and this other homeboy, Lace.
Mm-hmm.
They had to make a stop, so I saw my man's barbershop. I ain't been there in a while, so I walked in there. I hadn't seen him in the new year. Hadn't seen him in a while. He said, the first thing he said, yo, AJ, what did Damon do to Rich? Did he steal his girl? Did he sleep with his mom? Like, what did he do? Like, whatever. It's personal with, he said it's really, really personal. Like, what did Damon do to him? He said, when you show, and then the dude who was getting his shave, I don't even know that dude, he was chiming in too, like, yo, when you try to close, and he said, when you try to close the cupcake shop, it's personal. Like, it's really just personal at this point. And this is what the streets are saying, like,
Well, I mean, we all know it's personal. It's personal because of Spezio. It's personal because I didn't take Spezio's money.
Wait.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's personal because I didn't take Spezio's money to stab Dr. Cavallo in the back. It's personal because I'm a motherfucker you can't buy. I don't need your money. And that's what I told Spezio. So when he ain't never met a black man, especially at Mount Vernon, because see all these black people running around taking Spezio's money, whether it's through a job or whether it's through other means. They're getting paid off, so they stay silent. I told Spezio I didn't need his money. And then I became a threat. And as far as Richie, he just want to be like me. Even if he's a mayor, he can't be like me. He can't be like me. See, first of all these people around Spezio are corruptible. They have corruptible personalities. I don't have a corruptible personality Before you can be corrupt, you have to be corruptible. So look at the people that's around him. Look at Dan Jones. Nobody would ever know him on this shit. How did he get the job? He comes from Jersey. All this stuff is out in Jersey. Seems like everybody comes from Jersey. We got to put this together. Essex County, right? Wasn't around Essex County? Didn't those people from Greenberg Police Department say what? The snitching, the federal snitching, had to do with something in Essex County?
Definitely New Jersey. I'm not sure if it was Essex County, but
I think it was Essex.
It might have been. I have to check my notes, but yes.
I believe it was Essex County when Spezio was snitching for the feds. I don't believe in coincidences.
And what's the name from not too far? What was the other dude that the other
Uzi?
He took the car back. He lived in Jersey. He took the city car back.
What was his name? Uzi. Yeah.
Over the weekend.
Yeah. He was probably drunk too. He probably had a little Ray nephew too.
Somebody wrote, Damon, what you do? You done drove that man to drink.
Listen, but you know what? I told him. In the first meeting, I told him. And I told him Monday, God's going to get y'all for fucking with my family. I told him that. It wasn't a threat. It was just made up. That's karma. When you do wrong. When you do wrong. And I also told him, don't let these people mess your whole career up and let you land in federal court. I told him that. Cause I thought he was a nice guy when I first met him. He, all suave and everything with the deep voice. I wanted to give him an opportunity to jump ship. The only one that had common sense was Human Resources Poe. I think 2 months he jumped. He got the hell up out of there.
And I talked to him too. He's one of those people. He's from the old school where you don't leave a job until you get another job. He's from that. Yo, dude, because I talked to him, he said he had no job plan. He said he said, you know what, it was before school. It was just, before school started, him and his friends was just going to go on vacation for the month.
Let me get out while the getting is good.
He said he'll figure it out when he get back. He didn't even have a nothing lined up. Like, he just was like, I'm out.
Yo, once he started to figure out what was going on, pew, he was gone, bro. He was gone.
Lorraine said Joe picking up the commissioner like in The Sopranos.
Exactly.
Donna Nolan said, love Damon, speaks his mind. D. Wilson said,
hey, Donna. Hey, D.
Yeah, Atif posted the videos. They were sent, we'll keep the name, protect the person who sent it, but they were sent to both of us. All the videos, and Atif posted them on Facebook. So you could, and I put that in the article, you can watch all the videos on Facebook. We're just not going to put them on blackwestchester.com. But all the videos that we're talking about are on Atif's page, and you can see them. I was looking to see if we had any other comments. Shout out to Stephen Lewis. One of the brothers from Atlantic Star.
So, brother Steve.
Shout out to Tracy Case. She's tuned in.
Hey, Tracy.
Shout out to
I can't even just say hello. Hey, Tracy.
Glenn P. Butler just tuned in. What's up, Glenn?
Yes, but.
Yes. So I'm that's what's like. You can read the stories. Stephen Lewis said, what's up, brother? Yo, you can read all the stories that we just talked about. They're all on blackwestchester.com. Brenda, welcome back, Brenda. Brenda has posted them, and most of them in the comments like she used to do. But, yo, I'm going to tell you, Brenda, we all missed you. We were like, yo, where'd that story come from? Where Brenda at? Like, Brenda used to post, as soon as you talk about something, she would post a story. So we definitely miss Brenda. Shout out to Daniel Terry. Just checked in. Tracy laughed and she said, hi, guys. Yes, so, this episode, Damon. This is episode 198 on all. Yo, when we first came to this station, you appeared on, I think it was called the Power Hour, show with Dion, Brother Joseph's son, and Lorraine, and Priscilla. I think it was called the Power Hour, and I came up here taking pictures of you being on it, and you was like, "Yo, we could do a show up here," and we started the first show August 3rd, 2014. Yo, did you think we would be here for a 200th episode? Did you see that coming? Did you?
Nah.
Yo, in 2 weeks we will be celebrating our 200th episode, people. This is episode 198. In Hollywood, they got a 100th episode of a TV show. They have big parties and all kinds of stuff. Yo, this is our 200th episode. 200. And we are still here. Bigger, blacker, and better than ever. And we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, we definitely bigger and blacker than we were 200 episodes ago.
I must say I'm working on both counts.
I'm trying to be a little less bigger. So.
Me too, man.
I'm trying to be a little less bigger. Yo, on side note, it's always happy. Yo, Dave was like, yo, why y'all never wear them suits? Yo, I had one of them pants on today. I got them on right now. One of those that I couldn't wear. I couldn't wear it in 2018. I got them pants on right now. Yo, that felt good. I was like, yeah, I'm going to wear these today. So it's always good when you can get back into things that you haven't worn in a while. Brenda just posted the picture of the commissioner who had the crash in New Jersey and the low HUD story. She just posted it.
Oh, okay. I can't see nothing. I got to go to my phone when I'm talking.
It's on this. Yeah, it's on the Facebook. You got to the comment in the live stream.
Yeah, but I really want to. I want to say something real quick, man. What's the Ocasio-Cortez?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
I think no, man. I don't need a spot. I'm just saying, man. Like this young lady, her and the other sisters that's down there, they're really speaking their mind, man. I mean, I think
I respect that.
Right. Whether we agree on what she's saying, and I think some things that she's being challenged on, it shows how closed-minded our government officials are, and even some in the Democratic Party. I mean, like when she spoke on Jesus being an immigrant.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Right? No, not an immigrant. What was the word? Refugee. A refugee. And then they chastised her for saying that. And I'm like, hey, Christians, so-called Christians, you don't even know the damn story of Jesus. Because Mary and Joseph was running from oppression. The same way those people down there was running from their country. They was running from oppression. They was running from government, the corrupt governments. They was running from gangs so their children won't be in gangs. Same way.
Yeah, and I think that they were trying to kill all the firstborn, so they
exactly. They
killed. That's why they left. So, he would have been the firstborn.
That's why they left. So Jesus was a refugee. So I mean, right. So and she was correct. And she clapped back on these politicians real quick, which you're supposed to do. And I think that's what the Democratic Party is failing, because they don't check these Republicans when they're supposed to. They wait. They wait and they wait and they wait. And then they get on news in the morning and it ain't even an issue no more. So that old way of doing politics, doesn't work. And what she's doing and what she's, and what's the other sister that called Trump?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to bring her up. Yeah.
Right.
She's a Native American? Was she that's the one that's she was Native American? One of the two first Native Americans elected. Yo, I think something had happened, and her son asked him, "Is she going to stand up to the bully?" Meaning Trump.
No, so that's you. Okay, continue. I think you're talking about Talib though, but
She's Native American,
impeach
ain't
this
she?
motherfucker. No, she's Muslim. Rashid.
Oh yeah, she's Muslim. She's not.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's like
But no,
we have a plethora.
many.
Yes, so I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But she said, no, we're gonna impeach this motherfucker. And everybody, Democrat and Republican, got upset because she called the president a motherfucker when we should be upset that anybody thinks this motherfucker is a president.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I just sent you. Hey, you know what? I just sent you Pugsy P's report on that.
All right.
What you got? The plug with Pugsy now, D?
Yeah, man.
I can't put both of y'all on the screen at the same time.
But you can take me off.
Oh, you giving up the?
Yeah, I give it up to Pugsy P.
Oh, I gotta.
You gonna?
I'm trying to. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to work all this.
Well, I mean, let me say, with respect to the, I have to say, and just to go back, Mayor Thomas continues to display a shocking lack of judgment with the latest decision that he made to have Fat Boy SSE. I have to say this. Well, go on. Let's listen to Pugsy because Pugsy can say it better.
All right, so this is the latest 411 with Pugsy P.
Hey y'all, this is Pugsy P, and I got Carlos here, and this is our segment of Negro Please. Now people are all upset because newly elected Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, I think I pronounced it right, called President Trump a motherfucker.
Well, hell, what's wrong with that? The question is, why are we calling that motherfucker a president? That's the goddamn question.
Negro, please.
Motherfucker president.
That's all I got. Hey y'all, this is Pugsy P, and I.
Okay, now let me get back to Damon.
Seems like
that was the latest. That was the latest Pugsy P. Share screen. I'm still rocking this whole. There we go.
Okay.
Damon's back on the screen. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this whole. So Damon, I need you to talk to Cruz because he said he got something better in the system that works 10 times better than Skype, and you can do a whole lot more. So you got to find out from him what that app is, because he was like, it kills Skype. Like Skype ain't got nothing on whatever it is he's talking about. So he told me to tell you. I forgot what it was. So next time you holler at him, Brenda quoted Pugsy P. That's funny. So my cousin Alita Johnson said, I remember telling you, hang on with Damon. Thank you for keeping it real, speaking truth to the closed-minded. Open your eyes, people. Do not believe everything that comes out of City Hall. Investigate what's being said. I have discovered so many untruths. And thank you, Charles. I didn't see, but while he gave me the correct name of the senator when I was bringing up the conversation, he gave me her name. Shout to Donna Jackson from YCOP. Shout to my cousin Darren Kent. What's going on, cousin? Alita Johnson said for us to connect the dots. They, Mount Vernon High School students, are potential voters. That is true.
Yeah, he's trying to play on the ignorance of the children. Like he's some cool, down-to-earth mayor to try to get these kids to vote. That's one of the things that helped him the last time. He had the
the big graduation party for Mighty and the Hot Skull DJs, and you know what I'm saying, like for all the graduates of 2015 that year, and you know they weren't used to being allowed to have those big outdoor gatherings, and then they have the yearly
Let me tell you something. All you gotta do is tell Hot Skull they get investigated too, and that shit will end.
He's stupid. He's stupid.
Honestly, I know that this is a kind of truism in our circles these days, that it was the young voters of Mount Vernon who made the difference in the mayor's victory, but I don't think that's going to actually. There is no empirical evidence to substantiate that claim, and I think if we actually look at the records, it's probably not likely to be true, since older people, as a general matter, vote in much higher numbers in the city, all across the United States, and I don't think there's any reason to believe that's not true for the city of Mount Vernon. So,
well, a lot of the older people were voting for someone else. To the end, when he was identified, there's this whole Ernie must go movement, and when I was literally identified towards the end as the one person who could actually beat Ernie, because a lot of people's like, yo, I really don't know much about him, but I'm gonna give him this shot. And if he don't do right, then we'll just get him out of there in 4 years. But there was a lot of the votes for him was a vote against Ernie.
that's true. But my point is that if it's not the case, that was young people that made the difference in the mayor's first historic election, but rather it's just a shift in the regular voters of Mount Vernon who always turn out, then it may well be that in the next election, people are going to be disillusioned with the mayor's behavior. I have to say, there's a number of reasons to question the mayor's decision, but at a fundamental level, you are the candidate who is usually selected for the honor of serving as a mayor for the day, a symbolic position, is someone who embodies, personifies the best value and spirit. And I don't know Fat Boy SSE. I don't want to detract from whatever accomplishments he has managed thus far. But I'll tell you, just me personally, I'm not looking to Fat Boy SSE for any kind of inspiration about what it means to be a public leader, a man, a professional. It seems to me, just my brief review of his biography, that he really has attained a kind of meteoric rise to celebrity. Because he's an Instagram comedian?
I don't know. He has a large, I still have not looked him up, but supposedly he has a large online presence, he's a large internet, the things are different now. You can become these big internet sensations, you know what I'm saying, by having a lot of followers and everybody following you and all that, it's a different world right now.
Right.
Well, let me say.
But to me, and I know I may be somewhat, show a bit of conservative side to me here, but that's an honor that should be reserved for.
No, I agree.
A more accomplished figure, in my judgment.
I agree. That's not something that you throw around lightly, and there are a lot of people in Mount Vernon who have contributed a lot on all levels, and any one of them would have been well more worthy of something like that. Now, I'm not saying Mount Vernon has never done that before, and I'm not saying Ernie never did that before, but and my going back, I can't remember the last time somebody was mayor for the day. And if this was in fact one of the first times, that's not a good first example.
Right. Moreover, I want to say that the mayor's decision to select Fat Boy SSE, I agree with everyone that it is perhaps part of a misguided effort to win appeal with young voters who he thinks will make a difference, who could make a difference. I mean, right. Everyone can make a difference. However, the mayor conducted himself like a sort of starstruck groupie. for the mayor, to escort a sort of internet sensation around the halls of Mount Vernon High School and allow him to engage in the same kind of antics
Just a little bit more.
allow him to gain celebrity just shows the mayor's lack of judgment. I mean, I saw the video. So I saw the video. So I saw Fat Boy SSE with his, he got a fistful of money, whatever, like he getting ready to make it rain. And anyone, we all know that that's a recipe for disaster. And most normal people in our age, urban kids, would know that, when a celebrity's throwing up money, holding up money like that, there's a good possibility that they're getting ready to let that paper fly.
Hold on, Damon. Is that coming from you?
Maisha Stokely.
Yes,
Damon.
it's coming from you.
It's coming from me?
Yeah. I heard Maisha's name.
That's Lauren.
Oh, hell, my bad.
Yeah.
Tell Lauren we'll talk to her later.
Yeah, I need you to mute that out, or something.
My bad.
So, Bob, just I just want to get this in.
Yes.
So, Charles Stern said two things. Earlier, he said, Bob, didn't Thomas have a small army of young people as volunteers? But later after that, he said, Bob is on point. I thought the same thing about Fat Boy SSC. Donna agreed with you that it should be for someone who deserves it. Shout out to Ossining. I couldn't think of the city, couldn't think of the municipality. Ossining Town Trustee, Quintel Bazemore, who's tuned in. Shout out to my boy Jeff Ford. Shout out to Sandy Barnaby. Anti-Racism Alliance. Shout out to Tanya Connors. She said she hears the echo. You still hear echoes? Does anybody else hear echo, or was that before? Because I know Damon had to turn something down. For all those who want to know who this guy is, Brenda posted this Fat Boy SSE a link. I guess you can tune on that. And Alita Johnson said exactly, civics is not being taught in our schools. Sorry, we the parents and grandparents have dropped the ball in educating our youth. The times are changing. And she said, I guess she's talking about Richard Thomas. He's only 35 to 36. I think he's close to the 37, going on 38. Yes. Yeah. So thank you, Donna. Yeah, we got rid of the Damon has something playing in the background. That was what y'all heard, so we got rid of that. So thank you.
Let me I want to back up with what Bob was saying. We have to, when we were talking about,
you have to adjust your camera because we
you.
just see half of your glasses. Like it was just like we saw your nose and like the bottom half of your glasses.
Oh,
so.
yeah, okay.
There you go, D.
So let me address to what Bob was saying, which is real key, and we have to go back to to the election where people were when we were saying like the young people, the most of the problem was that the older politicians, they fought against each other. You had Clinton Young, you had Maureen Walker, you had Ruth Hassel Thompson, you had Ernie Davis, you had the base, the voting base was split 4 ways. It was actually split 4 ways. So it was easy for the few and younger voters to slip Richie in at that time. Because I see all this.
Just don't worry about that, D.
For the few and younger voters to slip Richie.
Go ahead.
All right. So
People were saying I heard echo when you were talking, so I was trying to get rid of it.
Right. I don't know. Is it me or you want me to?
Everybody, see if you can still hear echo.
You want me to turn the mic down on my end?
I think I got rid of the echo. I think that's what I was doing just now.
Okay.
Everybody else, if you can still hear echo, let me know because Sandy, Floyd, and a few other people said your voice was echoing.
Give us a 1 2 1 2, DK.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2.
All right, so anybody, let me know. Let me know if there's still an echo when Damon is talking. Everybody said there's an echo. Won't nobody answer me now. So I'm just saying,
How about the 1-2-1-2, y'all?
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah. All right.
It sounds okay. D. Wilson said. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Echo
Yeah.
was
So
going. My cousin said good.
okay. Yeah. So we have to. I mean. I hope this time. Reggie Lafayette will have control of his party and have one candidate, because I really, like I told you, I really believe it's going to get pushed off. Mayor Thomas is in campaign mode. He had said many times.
Wait, did he ever get out of campaign mode? Like
No,
he's been campaigning the whole time.
Exactly.
At some point, he didn't realize he won. He kept campaigning like Trump.
And that's why,
like Trump.
Right, and that's why nothing. And that's why nothing's done. That's why nothing's done. You know, and then the other day he wants to talk about this hotel on South 4th Avenue. Really? And what's going to bring the people there? Like, what are the people staying in a hotel on 4th Avenue for?
Over by the junkyard.
You know, maybe they're going to the beach.
Well, you know, I mean, the mayor told us that Mount Vernon is soon poised to overtake Miami as the #1 tourist destination spot on the East Coast. So that's what it is. We gotta make room for all the droves of tourists who are waiting to descend upon the city.
Well, they just what? It's going to be a tourist destination. See Negroes on the corner playing dice, because that's going to happen. Come on, man. I mean, we just can't. I mean, sooner or later, the city just has to stop. You know, but at the end of the day, just like I said, and I'll always say it before, Mayor Thomas is a creation of the Democratic Party of Mount Vernon.
That's not right. Somebody said they're gonna come get robbed or to buy some crack. That's not right.
I mean,
No.
but even though we're laughing, really the serious part about it is that the mayor continues to sell people on unattainable dreams, right? It's all right for the mayor to offer up, and he should offer up to the city a program for economic development. However, many of the key ideas that the mayor has been pitching as of late seem to me to be rather far-fetched. When Charles was on, he said, you know, the mayor has to have his sort of sky in the pie. I think that's the phrase. His sort of ideas, you know, his big ideas. But we also need some ideas that are grounded in reality, that don't stray too far from the actual conditions of the city, such that this is a viable vision. And to me, it seems that this is a big problem that the mayor has, that he is not enacting policies that hold out a promise of real but incremental economic development that's going to do something for the young people of the city of Mount Vernon. This is precisely why, in order to mask his failure, in almost, it'll be 3 years soon. I guess we're in year 3 now.
We're in year. Oh yeah.
We're in year 3, right?
Yeah.
And
No, this is
year?
it.
Yeah,
This is year 4.
This got to be yeah. You're right. I'm sorry.
January, because the election is this year.
Right, we're in
The
2019.
mayor-
yes, the next
the
mayor is going
next-
to be
so
inaugurated in
January.
2019.
Yeah.
2020, yes.
January.
So, I mean, really, this is a way for the mayor to try to paper over the fact that he has not been able to put together a substantive economic redevelopment plan that addresses the needs of that segment of the city that's most desperate for employment, and that's the city's young people. So the mayor can run around here with Fat Boy SSE or any of these internet sensations, but he's not going to be able to reduplicate their success so that all the young people of Mount Vernon have a reasonable chance to attain the same degree of, economic and professional accomplishment as Fat Boy SSE. You know?
Floyd Myers said we own and operate a business on 4th Avenue. We are there almost 20 years and nothing has changed. I think leadership has never taken care of its breadbasket since the early 70s. Sad. Nothing has changed. Donna Jackson said maybe he means when gentrification reached Mount Vernon. I've also said these are the things you see are often the signs you see before gentrification.
Yeah, but he's not going to be in office when gentrification comes to Mount Vernon. He's going to be in jail.
The people that are probably owed favors are the people that they will, you know,
they will reap the benefits. Joe Spezio, as we know, Diaz, I'm sure you'd agree, even when Rich is not there, Joe will still be reaping the benefits.
Because they just sold Mount Vernon. They just gave away Mount Vernon. You know, and that's the sad thing about it, is that, you know, the people that have made Mount Vernon what it is, the average person in Mount Vernon, you know, they have been bamboozled by their own Democratic Party and their leaders that are in City Hall, because they have sold off the city. You know, you now see Hasidic Jews walking on the South Side, right? So you know what's going to happen after that. They're going to they're buying up blocks.
And
so
you know what they have been, and it started just in that. It started as Ernie was getting out of office. There was a man from China that was standing next to Ernie when he announced that he was running for office, and he said that Ernie needs another 4 or 8 more years, and he said that he comes here from China once a month to see how he can make Mount Vernon better. He comes here to see what's available and what he can buy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know, so, like, most of 4th Avenue is sold. Great portions of 3rd Street are sold. Portions of the rest of Sanford Boulevard are already, there's people that have already brought this stuff up. A lot of these houses, I'm on the South Side, they're putting flyers in everybody's mailbox, unload your house quickly. You know, they're getting people to sell their house, people that just really want to get out, giving them not what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they can get, you know, giving them a bare minimum of whatever they can get to buy up all these houses. You got your crime going up and all these other things, and all that's happening is property values are going down, lower and lower and lower. These people could, just turn on your new mic. Yes, these people could, you know, they wait, and as they get the stuff cheaper and cheaper, crime goes up, all these things happen. These are the signs of gentrification. Yo, there was a joke, we all joked when we saw the scene, and Do the Right Thing, where the white dude was in the Boston Celtics uniform, was walking his bike, and he rode over my man's sneakers, and they were like, "What are you even doing in Brooklyn?" I recognize this when Brian Marable and I and all of us had we had the Conscious Brothers shot in the Mart in Harlem. Yo, people like white people and other people did not cross 110th Street after dark. And it was like 2 in the morning, and the dude was walking his bike down Lenox Avenue. I knew it was over. Like not riding, walking his bike. Hey guys, how you doing? You know, just walking his bike. And you see what happened to Harlem, areas in Brooklyn, and everywhere else. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Mount Vernon is a very attractive piece of land for where it sits, with its closeness to the city, where you can be right outside of the city. Don't have to pay for to live in the city, but you could be a half an hour, 15 minutes, half an hour away, you know, and you don't have to live all the way upstate or Connecticut or out in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. You know what I'm saying? You right there. You just jump on the Metro North. You in Grand Central Station in 20-something minutes. You know what I'm saying? And we got access to 5 highways. It's a very attractive piece of land. And the other sign that I said when I first came back in 2014 from Atlanta, one of the telltale signs for me was they were developing everything around Mount Vernon, all the way around. Pella Manor got Dave and Buster. New Rochelle built up the whole New Rock City thing and the whole the business district area down there. Yonkers built Ridge Hill, and they fixed up Cross County a little bit. And there was the waterfront in Yonkers. You know what I'm saying? The Bronx Bay Plaza and all of that out there. Like, everywhere around Mount Vernon has grown and thrived. And the only thing left to do now is come through from all sides and take over the middle. You know what I'm saying? This is a very attractive piece of land. You could come here if you have a company that does a lot of shipping. that being access to all the highways is very attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you access to all the highways, you can have your headquarters here or something. This is a very attractive piece of land. So, go ahead.
Yeah. People may rightly ask, Dr. Bob, it's easy enough for you to criticize the mayor's economic development policies that focus on, building construction as being ineffective. But a legitimate question that could be posed to me is, what do you propose as an alternative?
Okay.
And
I'm going to answer that question. I wanted to, Floyd just commented on what I said, and
okay.
I wanted to read that.
Mm-hmm.
And Damon could agree with this too. Every other urban community has developed. Brooklyn, Harlem, Nyack, and even you was talking about Newark. The template is there. They don't, another comment came, hold on. They don't know how to manage this city. Charles Stern asks, the matter of gentrification is interesting. Do you think the Mount Vernon political power base is aiming for more gentrification, or are they holding back? What's going on? And Brenda asked the question, Daniel Terry said, honestly, gentrification is inevitable. Brenda said, doesn't there have to be a collaboration between the three branches of government, executive, financial, and legislative of the city government to accomplish a boutique hotel, green parking garage, outdoor event center for South 4th Avenue? The answer is 100% yes. And the mayor can't unilaterally do this on his own. It would need you need approvals from the planning committee. You need a vote from the Board of Estimates and Contracts. You need some sort of vote. First off, they would have to go. I know from dealing with OK Freddy and the stories that I was doing on it, because Freddie wanted to do something. I'm almost sure that area is not zoned for that, first off. So that's one of the first things you'd have to the zoning board, and then I think the Board of Estimates and Contracts will vote on it, and I believe the city council would have to vote on that as well for just changing the zone. So it would need votes from several people. The mayor can't just say, this is what we're going to do, and it happens. Nothing that big. You are right. The Board of Estimates, the City Council, and you got to work with the controller to find the money for it. First off, if you don't get along with the controller, you're not getting no checks cashed. And Floyd Myers said, hold on, exactly, but why the county state needs a place to put the negative element, drugs, homelessness, rehab, housing, etc. Go ahead, Damon.
Well, I was going to say something else, but, to respond to Floyd, if you read the 1992 African American Advisory Board report to Andrew O'Rourke, that was the plan all along with Mount Vernon, Austin, Peekskill, Port Chester, to make these cities pockets of poor people. So now Port Chester has moved away from it. Austin has moved away from it.
Peekskill building up too.
Peekskill is building up. Yonkers has moved away from it. The only elected official pocket of elected officials that has welcomed it is Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is not built for these tall skyscrapers. That was never the plan of the founders of the city. It used to be called the city of homes, not the city of tall buildings. So I mean, the city has been sold out by its leaders, to put pockets of poor people. Then they don't get the actual support,
and they cut the services.
Right, from the county and state. You cannot have all these people and elderly people, right? You cannot have all these people and not have the services, right? You're not getting the money for the services, whether it's just local services or even in your school district, because your school district is overburdened. And I hate to say it, so these developers come in They give them tax abatements. They're not paying all the taxes that they're supposed to, and they're building buildings that 2-3 bedroom apartments which brings families. You know, like if you try to build a tall building in White Plains, they are cutting a big check to the school system. Even if their plans are not to have multiple children in there, but they still cut off the school. White Plains make sure they cut off the school system some money. You know, we don't do that. We don't do that. Why? Because the same developers are lining the pockets of the politicians here in Mount Vernon. And I said it before, and I said it to Delia on Facebook, and I challenged the city council, and I challenged the people in Mount Vernon, do like Greenberg. Put it in your charter that it's forbidden to take money from developers. I challenge every elected official to put it forth. You don't pass anything in the city council. Pass this piece of legislation that you will not take money from developers. Greenberg has it in their charter. Mount Vernon needs to put it in their charter.
Absolutely, and I want to agree. Floyd said, he said we need to work with what we have. We're busting at the seams. You're 100% accurate. And he said exactly, Damon. Yo, the one thing I wanted to say, Mount Vernon has issues that needs to be solved. And Mount Vernon is not addressing the issues for the people that are here now. We have, you know, before you bring in a bunch of other people, our school system has gotten better but needs some work. Our infrastructure needs some work. We need to solve the needs of the people that are here before we talk about building development to almost double the population. You understand what I'm saying? You know, look at Fleetwood. Me and Bob just got off that exit the other day, man. You did the exit. What was that? Was that Cross County? That's what the Fleetwood Citizen Society was complaining about, the 42 Broad. It was like, yo, we sitting around for 20, 30 minutes to get off the exit now. You're going to bring 208 units or whatever many units it is, and that's, you got to figure a lot of them, some of them might have 1 and 2 cars. Basically, it's still going to be several hundred more cars getting off that exit. You know what I'm saying? And there's no plan for it. Other people have a master plan. The last one, now, yes, Clinton did create one, but he lost the election, so it never got adopted. The last actual master plan that I can find is from 1960. I was born in 66. It is older than me, and I will be 53 in 3 weeks. And even back then, it warns Mount Vernon not to do all the things that Mount Vernon did. And it warns the problems that we would have if you had done these things. And I was going through it. It's like, yo, we haven't had a master plan. Like, we talked about 125th Street. And one of the things of building, they had anchors. They had Magic Johnson Theater on one side. They had Starbucks. They had that Grand Central Station and that Pathmark on the other end. And they just filled in the middles. You know what I'm saying? They had a master plan of all the businesses they built there. And they put it together. Like, what was there made sense. You know what I'm saying? We got a building here. We got a building here. We got something here. None of these things, there's no plan for the city as a whole. There's no master plan. Some people said, hell, that the plan all along is the no plan plan. That's what we've been working with, the no plan plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when they did Ridge Hill, they planned for that area. When they did the waterfront, they planned. I've seen some of the plans in Rochelle, the whole business district and the whole New Rock and the other things that they're adding to that. We don't have that. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. Yes, Clinton did try to implement a master plan. I agree, but it's still stuck in the system. It never got approved, and he lost the election, and Ernie was not doing anything that Clinton did. He, like, you know, that's the problem. Hey, Cruz, what's up? That's the problem with our elected officials. It's like Trump's trying to undo everything Obama did. Like, you know, it's like you undo what the other one did. Instead of adding to it, you want to undo everything the person before you and erase their legacy. Like that's just the way of politics now. You can't run a city. You can't run a country. You can't run that way. I'm looking at the comments now. Sorry, Lorraine. Thank you, Damon, for answering her. Lorraine called the 914-968-6499 number because Damon's on Skype. Donna Johnson said New Rochelle does that too. It even written into their plans to have funding from developers towards arts and culture. And I always use the example when Dave and Buster, because I seen the plans and I did the stories on that for Pelham Manor. Pelham Manor, when Dave and Buster, they did a survey and stuff, they to put it there, they determined it was going to be an excess of police resources and other resources that having Dave and Buster there. In their agreement for Dave and Buster to build there, they had to give the city $1.5 million to cover whatever they identified as, the strain on the community resources that having that business with there. We don't do that. We don't make these developers pay for, the resource, the strain on the city. We don't utilize them. We give them these pilots and these great deals. I've heard several politicians from the Davis administration, again with the Thomas administration, saying, well, that's the only people that are built here. We gotta give them what they want, so they'll build here. No, if you have a plan, there's no plan. If you don't have a plan, people can come in and do whatever they want, and then we react afterwards after they do it. Oh, you can't do that. There was nothing to tell them that they can't in the beginning. So anyway,
I'd like to add my 2 cents to this discussion. So, I'm just going to reiterate a point that I made. I think that most of our political leaders in my generation, who have headed the city in my generation, I think tend to follow a mainstream economic redevelopment policy that focuses on simply improving the infrastructure of the city. And your comments about Pelham are very telling, AJ, because the underlying economic condition of the city of Pelham and Mount Vernon,
Pelham Manor, yeah.
Pelham Manor, I'm going to say collectively, are worlds apart.
I was using the example of making them spend money. Go ahead.
Okay, but I think this is a much deeper problem, and that is that Pelham always, in my entire lifetime, has been from anecdotal observations I've made as someone who lived close, near the Pelham. I've never known Pelham to have any real serious economic problems and related social problems. Perhaps I'm wrong. Charles may know a little bit more, but Pelham has always struck me as a very stable upper middle class neighborhood. So the needs of the residents of Pelham, the reason why Pelham would opt to simply replace one box store with another is because what they're doing is looking for local service establishments and retail establishments that can actually, where they can go to spend their money. The need of the city of Mount Vernon is not that. Middle class,
I didn't
middle
say
class.
That, but that's not what I said.
I'm not saying that you did.
Yeah, okay. I just want to be clear though.
Okay, I'm not saying you did. Middle class, I'm saying that this has been a unfortunate focus of much of Mount Vernon policy. Is like the main thing that we need to do is to find better buildings, more attractive apartments for people to live in, A, or B, to find places, stores and other establishments to replace businesses that are leaving. That is not what Mount Vernon needs. Mount Vernon needs to follow an economic development program that is looking to build up its internal middle class, to create working opportunities, middle class jobs for all of the people on the city of Mount Vernon who are not making enough money in the poorly paid service jobs and retail jobs that all the establishments like Buster's, Dave and Buster's, and any other business that I know that's come to Mount Vernon really provides. The jobs that are being provided for Mount Vernon residents are going to create a bifurcated economy, a big split in the middle with well-to-do people, professionals who have high educations, commanding salaries that they bring from outside of Mount Vernon in their jobs downtown, and then that money is going to trickle down to Mount Vernon's South Side residents, largely who having tremendous difficulty trying to find a decent paying job, and they're going to get jobs at where? Starbucks or McDonald's, selling the latest McDonald's hamburger, or those jobs are not paying anything. And it doesn't matter. You can create all the housing you want. All Mount Vernon is doing is going to push out poor people and bring in more well-to-do people. But those poor people are going somewhere. They're just not going to be in Mount Vernon anymore. They're going to come to Yonkers. They're going to go wherever else cheap housing opens up. And so effectively what we're doing is we're playing a what kind of game is that? We're just shuffling the deck. It's not like erecting a building that only professionals can pay for. Rents can pay for $2,000, $2,500. I find it very dubious that that's going to do anything at all to improve the economic conditions of residents on Mount Vernon South Side, where conditions have been terrible for generations. And we need to get away from that. And I want to come back to the question that I raised. What kind of alternatives are there to the residential development focus that we seem to be so fixated with? And I sent you an email link via Facebook Messenger, AJ, of recent legislation that was passed by the New York State legislature for the creation of land banks. And it would be interesting to pull it up and read the title, just the title alone, for our viewers, because it suggests, or the discussion of the legislative intent, because it suggests that there is an alternative model other than allowing private developers to constantly bid up the price of real estate in Mount Vernon, such that by the time they're through, the only people who are going to be able to afford these new apartments are people who are working in New York City's real estate and financial development sector downtown. You're going to need to be a lawyer or someone who works on Wall Street. No one, or up in White Plains, people from Mount Vernon are not going to be able to afford these buildings, and it's an illusion. I will read it. Here is an example of an economic redevelopment plan that needs to be given more serious thought. This is from Article 16 of the New York State nonprofit laws, and it's about land banks. And here is, I'm going to read the legislative intent of this statute. It was passed within the past, I think rather recently, past 4 or 5 years. The legislature finds and declares that New York's communities are important to the social and economic vitality of the state. Whether urban, suburban, or rural, many communities are struggling to cope with vacant, abandoned, and tax-delinquent properties. There exists a crisis in many cities and their metro areas caused by disinvestment in real property and resulting in a significant amount of vacant and abandoned property. For example, Cornell Cooperative Extension Association of Erie County estimates that the city of Buffalo has 13,000 vacant parcels, 4,000 vacant structures, and an estimated 22,290 vacant residential units. This condition of vacant and abandoned property represents lost revenue to local governments and lost costs ranging from demolition, effects of safety hazards, and spreading deterioration of neighborhoods, including resulting mortgage foreclosures. The need exists to strengthen and revitalize the economy of the state and its local units of government by solving the problem of vacant and abandoned property in a coordinated manner and to foster the development of such property and promote economic growth. Such problems may include multiple tax jurisdictions lacking common policies, ineffective property inspection, code enforcement, and property rehabilitation support, lengthy or inadequate foreclosure proceedings, and lack of coordination and resources to support economic revitalization. There is an overriding public need to confront the problems caused by vacant, abandoned, and tax-delinquent properties through the creation of new tools to be available to communities throughout New York, enabling them to turn vacant spaces into vibrant places. Land banks are one of the tools that can be utilized by communities to facilitate the return of vacant, abandoned, and tax delinquent properties to productive use. The primary focus of land bank operations is the acquisition of real property that is tax delinquent, tax foreclosed, vacant, abandoned, and the tools of use and use of tools authorized in this article eliminate the harms and liabilities caused by such properties. And everyone, what I'm trying to suggest, and it's not even fully stated here, is that we have been relying on a private sector-led redevelopment model in which we expect people whose primary goal is to make money and to enrich themselves to somehow or the other put together an economic program that's going to actually address our social problems. That's not what these folks do. They're there to become rich. And if we're serious about addressing the public needs of the city of Mount Vernon and other equally distressed communities, then we need to make the public good our primary focus, not the private needs of individual homeowners or professionals who can't find a cheap apartment or developers who want to find a way to go get rich, because all of their needs can be met. And the city of Mount Vernon, the residents who currently reside there, will not benefit in any way. All they're going to do, Mount Vernon is going to be a nice place, and the people who once called it home are going to have to come back and visit. And we need to get serious. We're not serious. And that's my lecture for the day.
Damon?
That was so deep. I forgot what the hell I was gonna say, man.
Well, but I mean, my point is this, D-Dat.
No, I really, man, I was like, God damn. Once I was thinking about a point, you had me thinking about so much shit. But and you're right, dude, you're right. But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
The deal has been made. Mount Vernon houses 30% of all people on social services in Westchester County in a 4x4 square miles, right? What is needed? What is needed? And somebody had brought it up before, and I guess they didn't feel. People in Mount Vernon has to sue. They have to sue the state, and they have to sue the county for reparations. They have to, because this was deliberately done to a city and co-signed by its own elected officials. And from what I was told, from some older people that were in office, that was one of the reasons the party turned against Blackwood, because Blackwood's position was that they was not going to make Mount Vernon a dumping ground for the poor. So, I think, but yet they did, because they made a deal with the devil. The same way that they had that desegregation. I don't know if it was a desegregation case, but it was the case that was brought on by that organization from New York City in the housing discrimination, when they sued the county on how they was building housing, right? A lawsuit should be in the reverse, because of the fact that they were suing to put more housing in white areas. It should be, the lawsuit should be in reverse to get funding for those places that they put massive of numbers of black people, which the last stand is Mount Vernon. So money, Mount Vernon is lacking of funds, but if you continue to put you continue to put these people in office that only thing their main goal is to kiss these developers' asses, I think is doing the people of Mount Vernon a disservice. Like, how do they fight? How do they fight the developers that want to redevelop the Y in that area And when they're saying a portion of their rent is going to go to community programs and build a community room to bring the people in, but nobody fights these white developers that don't give nothing to the community, don't even care about the community. Only thing they want is the Section 8 check. We have our priorities wrong in the city, and it's probably been wrong for probably the last 2 decades, and that's why the city looks the condition that it's in. The priorities are wrong. You know, and until we get the actual elected officials and the party itself to get their priorities straight, you know, nothing's going to change. You can't tell me you've been living in the city for 30 years and you're proud the way the condition of it is. Then something's wrong. Then something's wrong with you. We all see something's wrong. I mean, we all see something's wrong. I mean, so let's just fix it. Let's just fix it. And I don't get it, you know, why we continue to play these games. And then soon some people are going to come in and we ain't going to have nothing left. We ain't going to have nothing left. You know, but right now, they're still playing the game. They're still playing the game, man. And the people, it's just going to be the taxpayers that's going to be hurt, and it's going to be poor people that have no say, and it's going to be pushed somewhere else to make another poor community. And that's what's going to happen if they allow it. If they allow it, because where they're going to go, there's no other place to go in Westchester County.
I mean, if we're lucky, that's going to be the outcome. There is another possibility, and that is one of the reasons that we're seeing this rush for land is precisely because people who have discretionary money that they're looking to invest are often seeking to place it in real estate. And what is happening is that people are artificially bidding up the price of real estate. That was the cause of the 2008 real estate downturn, is that the prices that people were paying for mortgages exceeded the amount of money that the market can bear. There is a possibility. I will say from my reading that I've done about the history of Mount Vernon, on the eve of the Great Depression, Mount Vernon found itself is sort of a city whose real estate market was over leveraged, and the owners had spent entirely too much money on real estate in anticipation that there was always going to be a market to bear those prices so they could receive a return on their mortgage, get a profit. But they couldn't when the whole entire economy exploded. They couldn't, and Mount Vernon economic growth suffered as a result. And Mount Vernon finds itself in a similar position today, where you have not just an unprecedented number of well-to-do people here in New York and throughout the United States looking for opportunities to invest their extra money that they've gotten because they're making so much money, but now you have, this is on an international scale. As a matter of fact, I was just reading an article in one of the major daily newspapers about the growing number of Chinese members of the Chinese middle class who are looking to funnel money into the U.S. real estate market, and they're driving the cost of real estate up because they have more money than many middle class Americans here at home who have seen their wages stagnant. So it's bigger than just the issue of gentrification and whether Mount Vernon's current residents are actually going to benefit from any of these policies. The bigger issue is whether or not Mount Vernon's real estate market is going to be over leveraged at a time when the economy is once again faltering. And we could well have a whole swath of real estate owners who can't do anything with their property because they can't pay the mortgage on it, because there's no one there, because those middle class professionals that they were anticipating are not going to be here because the whole economy is going to break. And this is bad policy for the city of Mount Vernon as a whole. We need to adopt a more rational real estate development policy that looks as much to provide people with affordable homes, affordable apartments, as it does to, super expensive apartments for the growing professional class who doesn't live in Mount Vernon.
Okay, Damon.
No, I agree.
And what that means, indeed, this is what I want to say to everyone who's listening, because one of the big problems that we're having right now, y'all, is we're waiting. Many of us who, are loyal listeners and participants in the show, we are waiting for our political leaders to enact policies, try policies, experiment with policies that they're not inclined to. There's a basic structural reason, because their money is, they're going to put their money where their mouth is. Put their mouth where their money is. And, it's not about the interests of everyday Mount Vernonites. It's about doing the bidding of wealthy real estate developers who are looking to maximize on profit. But my point is, everyone, look, we could go to the city council. If the city council doesn't see fit to adopt legislation to create a land bank, if they don't see fit to adopt the legislation that you were referring to, D, to restrict the kind of financial donations that can be made to local elected officials, then the residents of Mount Vernon can go before the city council and submit proposed legislation. We want you guys to move on this legislation. If you don't seem to have any kind of answers, here's a possible answer that you can try. And so I think that we've got to do more of this, everyone, because we're going to be waiting forever for, even though I hope not. I hope this election season sees some of the prospective candidates for mayor of Mount Vernon really offer up some legislation, not some vague promises, but put together proposed legislation that people can review, where we can have a genuine dialogue about the direction of the city and whose needs are going to be met in new economic development programs that people are promoting these days. So that's what we need to do, y'all, because we can do that. I have conversations with my students. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm fortunate. I feel grateful that we're all having this dialogue together. But there are plenty of people who fritter away their time and tell me, I hear it all, we tried so hard. We didn't try anything. If you compare the level of civic activism in this generation to previous generations, it pales in comparison. We have fell short of the historical standard that our predecessors have set for us. And we can start to meet it if we do things like start submitting legislation. They ain't got no ideas. We got ideas, y'all.
So
I want to, go on, AJ.
Finish your thought.
Yeah, so let me say then, I'm going to talk.
You were doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to talk. So let me
interrupt
say,
you?
you seemed impatient,
I
as
was
if
going
you
to
didn't
give the
want me to.
comments to people who
Well,
comment
then
to your
comment.
thing.
Then read them, AJ.
So Floyd said Damon is $1 billion in Mount Vernon right now. I mean, right, that Mount Vernon is right for. They just don't know where to look. You are correct. This is not normal. Jamie Pessins checked in. Councilwoman, White Plains Councilwoman Nadine Hunt Robinson checked in. Floyd Myers also said all parties, festivals, concerts is all fluff. This is not quality of life. Our community thinks this is normal. It's not normal. You guys got me hot right now. Word up. And he said we done our fair share of affordable housing. And Mike Holt said Brooklyn Bob. And Lorraine is trying to call in, and I don't know why she's having a problem with the 914 number, and that's what I'm trying to solve while y'all two are talking. So,
I know that there's many people who feel like Floyd. What's up, Floyd? That Mount Vernon has too much affordable housing. I do not understand how anyone can, on close scrutiny of real estate housing prices, conclude that we have a surplus of affordable housing. if you take the standard definition of affordable housing, we've spoken about this before. Housing that is affordable should constitute no more than 1/3 of a person's monthly income. Then most people are not living in affordable housing. I ran the numbers, I know before, and I got the sense that most people are probably paying closer to half of their rent, at least 40%, close to half of their rent. Half of their income is going to rental costs, and that's not affordable. Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and even Americans who we might think are doing, fairly, up, solidly middle class, even, upper middle class, making 100,000 close to before taxes. The motherfuckers is living rent paycheck to paycheck. So I do not accept this. I think we have duped ourselves into believing this, and I think the real estate development industry is the fat cats are doing just fine. I'd be curious to know. Let's hear from our listeners, because I know Mount Vernon, we got plenty of dual income professional families. D, you a dual income professional family. How you and your wife making out? I mean, what's up with the real estate prices? Are they?
Well, that's why we live way in the fucking mountains.
Oh, y'all had to go. How far away y'all now?
Listen, man, it's the prices in Westchester are crazy, right? But the thing is, so you buy a house upstate, and my mortgage is the same as I was paying rent in Mount Vernon.
Which is, I know it's pricey.
Right, and it was pricey living in Mount Vernon with all the bullshit.
Right.
So, I mean, see, the advantages that Mount Vernon has is that people from Brooklyn, Queens, they come to Mount Vernon, they see it's Westchester, they get here, they stay 2 years, and they say, man, I'm going back to fucking Brooklyn.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but, I mean, it's gonna, I don't know how they do it. Like when they build these buildings, and I hear from teachers that can't even get in the building because they say they make too much money. So who the hell they put in the buildings?
I'm going to be honest with all the listeners. Right now, I have a PhD. I am amongst the most educated people in the United States of America, and I'm a college teacher, and I got to tell y'all, I'm making the most money I've ever made in my entire life, about $65,000. I have $120,000 student loan that hangs over my head, and my job is going to end in a year. I'll be back to being an adjunct and probably make, if I'm lucky, somewhere near half of that salary. So, and I very frankly and candidly share my situation because I think that there are far more people out there like me who...
Hello?
Lorraine has joined us.
Yes. Lorraine, join us.
I think we kicked Damon.
Hey, Dr. Bob.
Hey, what's up, baby?
I think in the process we kicked Damon off, though. Go ahead, Lorraine.
How you doing?
Now, Damon's trying to call back, and if I answer him, it's going to kick you off. So go ahead and talk. And I have to have Damon call back because I can't get both of y'all on at the same time, video and phone on Skype for obvious reasons.
All right. I got you.
So talk.
First
I know you said
of
you
all-
had something you wanted to talk about.
All right, give me a minute. Okay. First of all, I want to thank Black Westchester and the community for being so supportive. My sister passed away this morning, and they were able to revive her.
Okay.
And she's alive right now. but it's kind of touch and go at the moment. And I just wanted to say thank you to all my people out there that are sending love and support. Because I cannot live without my sister. And I need you guys to pray for her. Because it's a dire situation. And I would not be on the show if it wasn't that important to me. I love my sister. And I need her to be okay. And I count on the people in Black Rochester to give her their full support and love and prayers so that she can be okay.
Well, as I started off the show, and I'm glad you called to explain it a little further, I did explain that. And several of the people, D. Wilson is writing right now, my prayers and love. And with Lorraine, Cicely Greaves just said, my love to you and your entire family. Tracy Cates is writing prayers to your sister Lorraine. Sabrina Gray.
AJ, she's not doing good. She's not doing good, and it's so painful. And watch that the person that grew up and took care of you, that was not there, that when my parents weren't there for me, she was the one that took care of me. To see her in this situation is really, really, really painful. But at the same time, I got my Black Rochester hat on. And there is shit that is going down that we need to talk about.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I know that everything is going down in Mount Vernon, and that piece of shit mayor has got to go. And what he did to to Cupcake Cutie and everybody else is going to come to the light, and people are going to see, what's going on. But right now, I need the people in Black Rochester to pray for my sister. And also, I got some gossip for you guys.
Okay.
You
okay?
You know Virginia Perez, right?
County legislator for Yonkers, yes.
Virginia Perez, county legislator for Yonkers. And we have, and we need to keep a close eye on everything that's going on over there, because there's some shit going on in Yonkers that we need to really, really keep an eye on. First of all,
your voice sounds. Are you okay? It sounds like it's very hard for you to talk. Okay.
I have the flu.
Okay, because I don't want you to. It sounds like it's hard.
I have the flu. No. But the shit that's going on with Virginia Perez has to be told. I have the flu, but I want to let everybody know. First of all, Virginia Perez is a county legislator in the city of Yonkers, and Corazon Pineda is the 2nd district city council person. From what I understand, and I heard from the powers that me, Corazon Pineda is running against Virginia Perez. Virginia Perez is a county legislator. Corazon Pineda is a city council person. From what I understand, Corazon Pineda is running against city council legislator Virginia Perez. Now, Virginia Perez is kind of screwed. And you heard it here on Black Rochester. Virginia Perez is screwed because the party is not endorsing her. And they're endorsing Corazon Pineda as her rival. Now, Corazon Pineda has just
Yo, you sound.
Can you hear me okay?
No, you're sounding very bad. A lot of people are concerned about what you're saying right now, and they're giving you their prayers. I don't want you to keep talking because it's like sound like you're having a hard time to talk, and everybody's saying it. I mean, there's like a lot of comments.
Yes, but let me tell you something. There's some shit going on in Yonkers that y'all need to be aware of. I know that Mount Vernon is crucial, but there's some shit going on in Mount Vernon that I need to tell you guys about.
Okay, Lorraine, Mount Vernon is crucial, but Yonkers is just a central city in Westchester, so
your health is more important to us than anything else.
I hear you. I hear you.
Sound well.
I'm not doing well. I got a fucking pneumonia.
Okay.
So Lorraine, is it possible? We definitely want you to share your findings with the audience because it is important that we be engaged in cities other than Mount Vernon, for sure. But also,
I think it's very important that you guys focus on other than Mount Vernon. And Yonkers has got some really big shit going on. I can bring it to you, but yes, I agree with you, Dr. Bob. Maybe I can bring it to you when I'm in a better...
Yeah, because not all of the listeners can get the benefit of your insights right now because it's somewhat difficult to hear you.
I am so sorry, but
that's okay.
This was so important to me.
Well,
there's important to me.
We have no intention on going off the air, Lorraine, as you know.
you come next week or whatever, and you break it down for everybody.
All right, Agent. When I come back next week, are you gonna let me break it down to everything that's going on with the county legislature and what's going on in Yonkers?
Lorraine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and thank you for calling in, and yes, I'll let you explain it all.
And Lorraine, I was somewhat disappointed that you weren't here this week because I was hoping we'd have an opportunity to discuss a new article that I saw in Rolling Stone magazine on the difficulty of being a Latino Republican. So this is.
Oh no! Let me do that. What's going on with
I'm gonna send it to you, and we're gonna include that in the discussion next week or
all right,
when
we'll
you get
do
on.
that.
All right,
we'll do that.
All right, that sounds good.
All right.
Everybody's sending their prayers. Everybody is sending prayers and giving you their love. Damon, Cicely Grieve, Donna Nolan,
I love Damon.
Charles Stern. Everybody, you're getting like blowing up. Look at the timeline, and you can see all the prayers. Tracy K. Everybody's giving you love and prayers.
All right, I just want to say that. Can I just say this one thing?
Okay, and then we're coming, and then I'm doing. Basically, I got 5 minutes to end the show, but go ahead.
All right. But AJ, you know I gotta say this, babe. You know I gotta say this.
Quickly, go ahead.
My sister died this morning.
You said you told everybody.
And it was the scariest thing I ever had to deal with in my life. And I just want everybody to know that I thank them and I appreciate them being there for me. But we got to kick Virginia Perez's ass next week, and I will be there to make sure that it's done.
Okay, and you get some rest. You get some rest.
All right, Lorraine, and we'll talk to you, if not next week, if not this week, then certainly next week.
Any last words, Bob? We're coming to the close of the show.
No, we didn't even talk about the President of the United States much, huh? No last words, AJ.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. There's a lot more we would like to have covered. The conversations that we talked about were obviously, very important to discuss. Thank you for all the people that chimed in, their comments, their feedback. Most of the stories we did discuss, you can find on blackwestchester.com. Brenda and others have shared the link in the comment section. Again, our prayers go out to Lorraine Lopez and her family, and as you could hear, she was visibly shaken up to some point that she was almost not even audible sometimes. But I can't imagine how she feels right now. So all that listening, I'm asking them to pray for her and her family as they go through this difficult time. Again, thanking everybody for tuning in. This is episode 198. We have 2 more episodes before. In 2 weeks, we will be celebrating the 200th episode of People Before Politics. Anybody who wants to sponsor, thanks for the people that have already committed to sponsor. Anybody who wants to sponsor the show, hit us at blackwestchester@gmail.com. Also, you have to the 21st to advertise in the February issue of Black Westchester, which will be the Black History, Black Business edition. Highlighting black businesses. I just want to thank. I'm a little shook up. I have met Lorraine's sister. I know what her sister means to her, and and it's hard for any time as a family member that's somebody that's close to her, close to you, to be going through what she's going through. So thank you, Dee and Brenda, for all the links that y'all are posting. Y'all can check out everybody can check out Adrian Saunders, Johnny Brower. Trying to see who else. Ken Bright just tuned in recently. Vicky Charles, what's going on, Vicky Charles? Hit me on Insta message. We got to catch up. Thank you all for your prayers and your words of your words of kindness to Lorraine. I didn't get a chance to read. Charles Stern has said, and we won't be able to address it. And County Legislator Lyndon Williams is listening, is tuned in. Charles Stern said the land bank bill you cited was sponsored by David Valesky, who got stampeded out of office last year, along with the IDC. White Plains Councilwoman Nadine Hunt Robinson said, HUD is giving less and less towards supporting developers who take rents at only a third of the income. We need more federal tax incentives for truly affordable housing. I'm sure we can continue that conversation because there's so much more that we can say about it. But I'm signing off right now. Again, if you want to advertise in the February issue, you have to the 21st. And call this week if you want to be a sponsor for the 200th episode of Black People Before Politics, which is 2 weeks from now on Sunday, January 27th. We'll be here from 5 to 8 that day. You could be doing anything else right now, but you decided to ride with us, and we greatly appreciate it. This is BlackWestchester.com presents the People Before Politics radio show. We're on 6 to 8 every Sunday on InTheMixRadio.com, giving you real talk for the community since 2014. Thank you all. This week's guest, Peekskill Andre Rainey, was not able to make it, and may come in next week, and we'll have Donna Nolan and her son talking about the foundation and the tournament coming up. And then, like I said, in 2 weeks we will have the 200th episode. Until next week, peace. Why am I not hearing it? Oh. Look at that. See, I hit the wrong button. I'm all jacked. I did it.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. we've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.